Hello, my name is Malik Williams. I am currently a second year graduate student in the Wasielewski Group here at Northwestern University. Northwestern is located in Evanston, Illinois, which is really nice. So Evanston's really quiet, so it's always nice to uh, live in a quiet space, especially as a grad student. Or you try not to constantly think about research, but you're constantly thinking about research. And yet at the same time, Chicago's like a 30-minute train ride for me, or downtown Chicago. So it's always nice to have the opportunity to go to Chicago and have that as an outlet and enjoy real city life, enjoy all the opportunities that Chicago has.
What is your favorite part about research?
Favorite part about research, so I got into chemistry because I love fire and I love colors. I always think it's wild that solutions change color right before your eyes. And although I don't set up fires in the lab, I really love coming into the lab and running reactions, whether they work or not. And just seeing the chemistry happen before my eyes, I think is really cool. It's definitely always a highlight of my day.
Awesome. What type of career are you thinking about?
So I really enjoy sharing my passion in chemistry with others, and especially explaining chemistry and helping students understand it, especially through TAing. So I'm really thinking about pursuing a career in teaching, whether that's in academia or primary school. Where I actually would teach is still unclear, but I'll be thinking about teaching after that.
Awesome. When did you first realize that you wanted to give research a shot?
So I originally wanted to do bio research because I was always interested in brain and chemistry of the brain. So I figured working in the bio lab would be perfect to get some exposure to that. That didn't work out cutting into bio labs. But as I started to take more and more chemistry classes and learn more about the underlying principles for the color changes of the stuff I was doing in course lab, I eventually reached out to a bunch of professors in my chemistry department for undergrad, and joined the lab and really enjoyed it and wanted to continue doing lab work and apply to grad school. Continue to do that.
So what is your research in the center about?
So my research in the center is about exploring quantum mechanical phenomena on these coal crystals that I grow. And it's really interesting using these coal crystals because instead of looking at things in solution, you have instead of looking at things in solution where you have molecules tumbling and things are really disordered, you have this really nice constrained ordered system that in some ways is easier to manipulate than solution-based systems. And honestly, in my opinion, it's a lot cooler because you can look at these crystals with a microscope. They're really pretty to look at. It's really easy to control crystal morphology by changing the conditions in which you grow them. And then when we're optically studying them by shining light on them through the microscope, the data that we get is also really interesting. And through that data, hopefully we'll be able to understand the underlying phenomena, namely coherence. A coal crystal is a solid-state ordered network of two or more molecules. And the way we pick these molecules is we think about how we like them to be ordered, and two, which molecules we like to order with one another. For example, the molecules that I largely work with are PDI, or pyrrolene diamides, and zinc porphyrins. And when thinking about how to get these two molecules to order with one another, we can utilize the fact that both PDIs and zinc porphyrins are large aromatic molecules, and so they like to stick to themselves through pi-pi stacking. So if we mix these two molecules and to pi-pi stack one another within themselves, maybe the thinking was that they'll pi stack with one another, and then we'll get this large alternating framework of PDI and porphyrins in some way in order to make a crystal. And then we grow these crystals by taking a small amount of these two molecules, putting them in solution, and then putting the solution in the fridge and allowing it to slowly evaporate overnight. And as you slow down this evaporation, you give time for these molecules in order to find one another, stick together, and eventually make a large enough framework to where it will crash out in solution as a crystal. And then we can take these crystals and structurally characterize them using X-rays, namely in a diffractometer, where you shoot X-rays, you excite the electrons, those electrons shoot X-rays back at you, and then through that, you can get a full picture of the network in the crystal and how these molecules are ordered.